Among several different characters, Spider-Man was always in my top 3 whenever I would pick characters to fight with. He just had such a fun and unique fighting style that when you picked him, you had a lot of fun playing the game. He had some really cool like attacks, combos that can just completely turn the tide of an entire fight, and this really ridiculously sized web shield that he used to defend against attacks. Which brings me to today's video. I would like to make that. Let's go. So to start off, we need to figure out what we want to do for the base of the shield. The first thing that came to mind was using EVA foam. I've used this on a shield in the past. That was the Captain Spider-Man shield. If you haven't seen that, link in the description for that. It's very good and very flexible to work with, so it's a very good material. However, this shield's going to be completely covered, so using EVA foam would kind of just be a waste of EVA foam. So instead, I'm going to be using the same material that I used on the Taskmaster shield video, and that's going to be cardboard. So the first thing I need to do is actually alter the template from that video because the Spider-Man web shield is massive. To do this, I simply put it under another sheet of paper, traced where that part was, and extended it from 12 inches to 16 inches. This way, the entire shield will be 32 inches. I know, I can do math. Impressive. So the next thing that we're going to want to do is grab some cardboard from our local dollar store. This is like those presentation boards that open up. Transfer that template over to the cardboard. You want to make exactly 21 pieces of this pattern. Having 21 pieces is going to give you that perfect circle shape. So once you have all the pieces cut out, you're going to want to actually bend and curve every single one of those pieces. To do that, you kind of want to flatten down the cardboard itself every single way. Roll that up almost into a ball and then kind of press it against your table that you were working on. That will give it a nice curved shape. And then do that for all 21 pieces. And once you have all of those folded and curved into the shape that you want, you're going to want to grab some hot glue from a hot glue gun. To do this, you're going to want to grab 2 pieces at a time, take those 2 pieces, form them into 1 piece. Do that for every single thing. And then once you have those 2 pieces, do that again. This way it gives the glue a little bit of time to dry and actually hold that shape, so you're not just like gonna break a piece. I've done this too many times, so just do individual pieces at once. It'll make the process be a lot faster and just a lot easier. So the next part of the process is we actually want to tape this down directly to the table. So before we actually tape it all down, what I used for this was a roll of duct tape, put it in the middle of the web shield underneath it. That gives it just a base point of where the shield can sit. This is so like the shield doesn't curve in too much and just look really awkward. So put that in the middle, that'll give it a nice resting area. So while that's all taped down, we're gonna grab our 2-part resin. What you're gonna wanna do is take exactly 50-50 for this, put it in a container that is going to be destroyed, so like a paper cup, something like that. Mix those 2 together. Once that's all mixed together, you're gonna wanna throw it onto the shield. For this, I grabbed a very cheap paintbrush from the dollar store, put it on the entire part of the shield, just did a somewhat light coat because we are going to be using resin again later on, so just a very light coat. This is just going to give the shield, again, just more strength and structure to it for later on. So once you have applied that, it's gonna take about 24 hours for that to cure, so you're done for the day. So once that's all cured, you're gonna wanna take off all of the tape around the shield so that you can just freely move it around, because now we are moving on to the webs. I really wanted something that would look like webs, but not be super thick. So I couldn't use like a belt strap or anything like that because that would look really silly. So what I found was this plastic lacing. This thing worked absolutely phenomenally. You can get it off Amazon. They do have them at the dollar store, but it's not a lot of it. So you'd have to buy like $30 worth of it just because it's in such small quantities. Buying it on Amazon is cheaper, quicker, it's just a lot more convenient. So link is in the description for everything. So this is what 1.5 days looks like of work. About halfway through the day, I learned that I could just do 1 piece at the end here and 1 piece at the other end, because all of this is going to be covered in resin anyways, so it just needs to kind of hold its positions around the edges so that when it's actually all combined, it's going to be completely filled, completely texturized, and then put the resin on there, everything will stay in place, nothing's going to move. So this is just a way to speed it up just by doing just the end pieces. As you can see, a lot of the middle pieces can still move, and that's fine. Wherever they end up, it's still going to look very web-like, so that's not a huge issue. So let's continue this, get the other half of the day out of the way, and see how much we can finish on it. Oh, I greatly overestimated my patience. This is taking a long time. This is now day 2. So that's nice. So instead of spending the next month doing all of this lacing on this shield, it would look fantastic, but I'm not gonna wait a month for you guys to see this video. That would be silly. So I need to come up with an idea to make this thing look a lot better in less time. Should be doable. I got it. What if I paint the shield white? That way the base cardboard layer acts as the first layer of webs, and then that will fill in all of the blanks. I'm a genius. I'm a freaking genius. So before I actually painted it, I decided to coat it a little bit more with all of the lacing just to make it look a little bit more web-like, just filling in any gaps that I could see that would just look weird if it was just painted. So I had a theory that I could make this look a lot better because in most of the web photos of the shield, it has like an actual like real web going around the shield. So I decided to try to recreate that. What I did was take 3 strands of the plastic lacing, just kind of spiral them together almost like a braid, but not quite. I kind of just spun it, and then once you release the tension, it will expand and just look more web-like. And I really liked how this looked. So when I did this, I applied it to one end, and then one part in the middle, just so it didn't move when I was doing the resin on it. And honestly, it looks absolutely fantastic. So I did that about 5 more times, just putting a bunch of those spirals around the shield. I think it really looks a lot better on the shield. So we're adding these lines to it now. These are basically just 3 pieces stuck together. This is really going to add a lot more of a depth to it. So we currently have just about 4 of them on here, not too many. And looking at it this way, it adds, again, a lot more depth to it. It gives it a more web-like, like he actually made this in the moment. So I think it looks really fantastic. And as we can see, the shield is starting to come together. So after all of the lacing is on there, it's time for the second coat of resin. This one you're gonna wanna do a lot more of a coat on. So what I used previously, I actually decided to use 3 times the amount of resin just so I can hold down all of the plastic lacings, because again, it's only being held at either end, not in the middle at all. So it has a lot of like give in the middle. So really focus on the middle, doing the outsides, as well as keeping those plastic spirals down. So again, using a lot of resin on a lot of those pieces just to keep them in place. After that's done, you're gonna wanna give that, again, another day to cure. So we're at like day frickin' 7 now. This was a long project. This was a lot longer than what I anticipated. I really am happy with it though, so I mean, can't really be mad at myself. So now we're gonna add some handles. In the game, he holds the shield very weirdly. It's like above his head, but he holds it out here and one here. So I can't put them in the middle of the shield because that would look weird. It wouldn't look accurate to the game. So instead, I have to put a handle by the edge and one just off center so that I can actually hold it kind of like, almost like a frying pan. Like that. It's really weird, but I figured it out. I got some cardboard tube, wrapped that in the plastic lacing to make it look like webs, got that attached to the actual web shield itself. It looks really fantastic. I'm very happy with it. Coated that thing in a lot of hot glue so that it did not move at all. I did not want that having any sort of give. Just stay there, don't move. All right, it's time to paint this entire shield. I use this can of spray paint to get the first base layer of it. When that dried, I wasn't 100% happy with it. I felt that there was a lot of spots that just did not get hit with the glue, so I did this part manually. I got some dollar store white paint. This is also going to fill in a lot of the like gaps between one piece of web and another piece of web. It's just going to make it look more like real. So I really like how dabbing it really turned out. After that paint is dry, your shield is done. And there you have it. You have yourself a Spider-Man web shield from the Marvel vs. Capcom game. Like, this shield absolutely looks fantastic. I really do like the web designs on it. I think it looks really cool. If I were to change anything on this, I would change two things. Number one, I'd probably add more of these like spirals around it. I think it really adds a like web look to it. I think that would look really cool. The second thing that I would change on it is the actual handles. So the handles aren't bad, but these like little stick things, it's not like super strong. I could definitely break them. I would just want to reinforce them, so I'd probably use a different type of base to attach them. I could also use more plastic lacing to actually attach it to the shield to make it look like the webs created the handles as well. That would be really cool, and I would love to do that in the future. But all in all, like, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it's, like, again, absolutely massive, so it's accurate in that point. It has the webs. It looks like he was actually created in it. In the Spider-Man suit, it looks absolutely phenomenal. Like, it really does look like from the Marvel vs. Capcom game. Absolutely happy with it. Another thing I would try to change is maybe the plastic string, maybe a little bit thicker just to cover more area on it. Like, double the thickness would have been a lot better because, again, this took 2 days and I still wasn't finished with it. If I were to go every single day and try to complete that as much as possible, it probably would have taken me, I'd say, about 9 days just to do that part. Then you have to wait for the resin to dry the first time, the second time. It would just been a lot of work, and honestly, I think it looks like incredible how it does now. But yeah, I really enjoyed making this. If you guys liked the video, be sure to leave it a thumbs up. If you guys like Spider-Man, today is actually Spider-Man Day, so it's really funny that I'm filming this. But yeah, leave this video a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button if you guys like Spider-Man, if you guys want to see new content. Also, if you guys want to see me make other like Spider-Man stuff, other Marvel gadgets, please link them down below. I'd be happy to make them for you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Yeah.